man. Tell the people who we got sitting with us today.
Oh man, my name Ray Rivers from Eufaula, Alabama. Businessman, street survivalist, aspiring author, motivational speaker. Uh, you know,
Yeah, so I wanted to reach out to you, man. I feel like you had a story that can, help a lot of people, especially the younger generation and those that are our age and beyond. You know, you served an 11-year prison sentence. You came home, did a complete 180. You started multiple business ventures, spoken at multiple youth empowerment summits, high schools, several colleges. You've written books that you still want to get published. So I wanted people to hear your full story, man. And I really want the younger generation to understand that the streets, streets are really designed for you to lose. You
yeah.
know what I mean? So I want to just get into your story, man. So I feel like a lot of people can relate to your story. So we're gonna start from the jump, start from the top, man. How would you describe your upbringing as a child?
Oh man, come from a single parent home. Uh, four siblings, all sisters. No brothers in the house, but outside brothers by my dad. Mom was a hard working woman. Man, we lived in the utmost poverty, man. She was a young woman, teenage mother with kids, and she did the best she can do. And every now and then the uncles and stuff would come in, help out when they could. But man, the struggle was real, bro. We actually lived in a lot of homes. Every home we lived in, they've been demolished, dilapidated, all in the hood, dope infested environments. And she just did her best, man. But that's all we could afford, low income rent. And I became a product of that environment. And so around 12 years old, man, I started taking to the streets. By way of one of my uncles, introducing me to the crack game. So I started selling crack around 12 years old, 12, 13.
Okay. What kind of student were you in school?
Originally, I was a problem child.
Yeah.
Originally, I was a problem child. What happened is a lot of folks don't believe the story, man. Uh, but I was about 9, 10 years old, and they wanted to put me in special ed. So my mom, she didn't know it, and so they actually had put me in there,
Mm-hmm.
and I was in there for like 3 or 4 days, and my mom found out. But I was really only in there because all the street guys was in there, and it looked cool, and so I played the ignorant role, and so they put me in there, and I'm in there, we wilding, not listening to the teacher. You know what I'm saying? We really running the classroom, and man, my mom found out. She come to the school, man. She gave me a paddle in front of the teacher and everything, and she said, "This ain't you." And so, man, I tested out that day, and that was the end of that. And I had a car wreck shortly after that, um, and I almost died. It was a bad, real bad car wreck. Had a car wreck, and I was on my bicycle, and this lady ran me over. And after that, man, when I sat up in the hospital, I developed a love for reading books, and that's where my love for reading books and want to write and having this whole imagined world in my head that was outside of the hood. That was my first foray into
Mm-hmm.
getting outside of that environment. Before that, all I knew was the poverty, the slums, the crack selling, the alcoholism. My granddaddy ran juke joints in the hood right here. Where we was from. He ran juke joints. My grandmother ran juke joints, and so my whole background, all my family was just really stone cold hustlers. And so once I got to reading books, that was my first foray into a whole nother world outside of that. And after that, when I had that car wreck, that's when my grades tightened up, but I kind of kept it hidden. I didn't let the street guys know. Man, I like to read books. I like to, and so I actually started making all A's and B's, and then I developed all A's. Man, graduated with 3.63 GPA from high school. Was athlete, but I hid that part mostly.
Yeah.
And when I would come home, man, I would get in the streets. But as soon as I come home from the streets, man, I would open the book up. But I couldn't tell nobody. Back then, that was.
Talk about how crazy it is to be, super intelligent, but to feel like you it's not cool. Like, you know what I mean?
Well, man, we sitting there, we young teenagers, we sitting there, you know, smoking, not supposed to. Before the bus, at the bus stop in the morning, we got bars of liquor. We done stole out cars and people houses and stuff, man. We at the bus stop in the morning, we getting drunk. We smoke coming to school, smelling like, what I'm saying, marijuana. And I get to school, man, and you know, I'm trying to hide it amongst the fellas, but when the grades come out, everybody like, man, how you get an A? You know what I'm saying? Like, how you get a 96? How you get that, man? How you doing? I'm like, man, I I guess he must have graded me different. I guess he really wasn't looking at my answer sheet like he was supposed to. He must have got tired or something. And I ran with that excuse to finally everybody like, nah, bro, you've been doing this too long. And so now I became the go-to guy for all the street guys and all the athletes that was failing. Once I would get through with my paperwork, everybody would copy off of mine. So, by way of cheating, I helped a lot of guys. A lot of guys graduate that probably wouldn't have graduated, man. I would get through with the test, man, and pass them the answers, man. I would write them down. As I'm doing the answers, I would write them down on a small little piece of paper, man, slide, and it just go all the way around the classroom, man. So I helped a lot of guys that was failing, man, get through school. So.
Were you involved in sports?
Oh man, I was in sports from Pee Wee sports, man. I played Pee Wee sports, basketball, football, ran track from the city league all the way up to school. The track athlete, went to state 4 years in a row with track. Football, man, I was one of the best. I just didn't like to practice. I had a dual life. Football, of course, you're practicing, you can't be in the streets. Well, what happened is around ninth grade, my mom got real sick. And she had to get hospitalized for a while. And so that left my grandmother watching us. And, I'm already introduced into the street by my uncle. So once my mom gets sick, there's no finances coming into the house. And there's no dad coming in, trying to help us out, trying to put nothing on the table. And we come home, lights be off, water be off, man. I call my uncle, I be like, hey, look, lights off, water off. He come in, man, lead the dice game, make some phone calls. Folks come out in the middle of the night, man, cut the stuff on. He knew some people that worked there would get the lights and get the water cut back on. And, man, he's just, trying not to do homework by candlelight. My mom did the best she could. But like I said, when she got sick, my grandmother, she didn't have a lot of income. And, she was traveling. She was a hustler. She would go back and forth to Florida. My granddad owned he was a sharecropper. He had a lot of, he would travel from city to city. We owned a lot of land. And he would take guys and sharecrop. And so she would go back and forth bringing home fruit. She would take a whole van, take the seats out of it, load it down with oranges or watermelons and come back. She was just a hustler. But in between time, she didn't really have a lot of money, you know what I'm saying? So to prevent the lights and water get cut off, man, my sister went and got a job at Golden Corral, and I took to the streets. And so practice football got in the way of it. I'm a star athlete, model student. And, I told coach, man, I really don't want to practice. Just let me play the game. I know the plays. And I got some of the players whose fathers and stuff was deeply involved into it. They was like, why my son not starting? And this guy don't really come to practice. You know what I'm saying? That ain't fair. So, man, I had to choose between the streets and practice. And eventually, I just walked off the field and quit, man. I had scholarship opportunities, man. And I gave that up, and I just took to the streets, man.
Okay, so you stopped playing sports in high school.
Yeah, stopped playing. Well, I continued to run track, but I quit basketball, football, man. I just quit everything and I would just run track because it was easy. You know what I'm saying? You really ain't a lot of practice with track. You just show up, do your thing, and get your medals and go on back get ready for the next meet. And so it wasn't dire that I had to be at practice because it wasn't a team sports, it's the individual sports. But in the meantime, man, I'm out in the streets with the OGs, man.
So at one point you told me you met a guy from New Jersey.
Yeah.
Was he the one that just kind of really just turned you up out there in the streets, or?
Yeah, he took it to the next level. My uncle was just really jugging me. He was an ex-pimp. You know what I'm saying? He started using himself, and he was really he was using me. You know what I'm saying? It was my foray into the game, but I learned from that. He would teach me, man, don't give them junkies your ID cards, man. Or they don't take the ID cards and whatever, man. They ain't gonna pay you back and all this. But I'm sitting in his trap. He had a trap spot called the Pimp Palace, and we would sit down, we would hustle all day. And man, he beat me out my money. I give him some work, you know what I'm saying, to go in and work it. And he'll bust it down with the thumbnail, man, and judge me and tell me, he lost the dope and he had been accosted in the hat sleeve or something. I took a lot of losses with my uncle, man. So that really, I was in the streets, but I was taking a lot of losses with my uncle. So, but once I met, my OG from Newark, New Jersey, man, he took it to the next level as far as the violence of it. Taught me how to rob, burglarize, stealing. It went to the next level. It went from being streets, just hustling, to robbing. Right. And man, it was times, man, we would burglarize houses, man. We would take a U-Haul, man. We had a stolen U-Haul, man. We'd bag it up in the yard like we was a moving company and unload the whole house, man. Sell everything secondhand. This is around the same time that my mom was sick. So I'm taking that money, paying bills. On top of that, I'm still hustling. And just by way of hustling, man, I done learned the game now. I done took so many losses with my uncle. I done learned the game. So now I got, I'm hustling 3 or 4 different drugs. Uh, I got 2 or 3 guns on me at all times. And, just I'm deeply involved in the streets now. School was an afterthought, but I was still if you don't remember, I was in the gifted classes. A lot of people didn't know that,
I
but
was in there with you.
but you was in the gifted classes with me, and so I hit that element too. So I'm still in the gifted classes outside of school, going, and we traveling all across the country. We doing different stuff, man. And nobody knew it, so I had this dual lifestyle. So I'm in the streets, I'm hustling. I done gave up sports, and driving, and I done been took all the way in the streets, man.
So you said like during your time in the streets, you had like certain circumstances that you should have been caught up.
Yeah,
But
man.
you realize that God's hand was on your life.
Yeah, I got away with a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
I remember I had my friends that was from the same neighborhood I was from. We was more like brothers. I ain't gonna say friends. We was more like brothers. Sad to say, most of them all dead. Lost a lot of homies in the street. And only 2 that's alive is saved by way of the prison system. Everybody else died violently. I got saved by way of the prison system as well. I did a lot of crimes, a lot of robberies I got away with. The one that I finally got caught on, that's what ended up with the lengthy prison sentence. But in the meantime, in between that, man, the streets was at an all-time. It was violent, man. It was the guys that I grew up with, a lot of guys that I knew from different sides of the cities. We started, once we started in the game, man, we started splintering. So guys I played sports with we started beefing. So, then guns can get involved, and, we shooting at each other. We hustling, we fighting for control of territory that don't belong to us. We pistol whipping the junkies that don't got the money. We jumping out on people, man. The streets just took us, man. So the guys that I thought we was gonna be friends with, winning state championships with, man, I actually started beefing with a lot of these guys by way of the streets.
You actually ended up going to college at some point.
Yeah, I did. Right before the college years. My OG, who I was telling you about, he had caught some cases, some attempted murder cases and murder cases, and you know, I was hustling real good at the time, and I was mainly just messing with, pounds, weed. Most of that was my drug choice. I really didn't like the crack game. I didn't like the way a lot of my homeboys' moms, you know what I'm saying? I couldn't tell them, man, your mom out, she out doing oral sex and stuff like this for money, you know what I'm saying? I seen her last night on the block, bro. I had to tell her to leave. I couldn't say, work, you know what I'm saying? So I really didn't like the feeling of really being in the streets and seeing a lot of my homeboys' moms or the people I knew growing up, or some of the girls was, you know what I'm saying, late at night they come out, they want to get high, snow powder, popping pills. So I really didn't like the game of that, man, because I had, like I said, I grew up, man, around a bunch of women. So I really just went to mostly hustling marijuana. And so when I was going to college, I ended up having 3.63 GPA. So, I ended up taking the exit exam. My entrance exam for college. And I remember, man, I got drunk that night before. And I was with one of my friends, man. He woke up, it was late, man. And he was like, man, we got to go take the exam to get in school, man. And, man, I remember I was drunk. I took it, and I was late. The teacher, she knew me. I made good grades, so she would let me come in and take it, even though it was late. And I scored high enough on it, man. I think I scored like a 1920 on it. Maybe a 21 or something, man. And I said, and I ended up getting into college, man. And I went to Texas. And in Texas, I met a guy. I'm still in the, I'm in school, still playing both sides of the field. And I meet a guy in Texas that had a real connect on some work. And I called my OG up, and my other OG that I grew up with from across the street from me. I called him up. I was like, look, man, we might got to play up here. I need you to make a trip out. He takes a long trip out. We go down, El Paso, man. We get the hook up, and he goes back home with like 75 pounds. I stayed up. I'm still in Texas. I stay in Texas, and I called him. I was like, man, how that work go? He was like, bro, it's gone. Everything gone. He was like, man, it's sweet, man. He was like, man, I'm getting up for like 300 pounds, man. It's sweet. So I said, oh man, I think I'm gonna quit school. I'm finna move back home, team up with my OG, and just take back over the streets. Cause school was too slow for me. I know there was a long term plan, get a degree, do the right thing, but I saw the quick flashing lights. I took the quick route, and I ended up moving back, and I transferred to Montgomery, Alabama State, and my sister was going to AUM up there. And so, she was going to AUM, I was going to Alabama State. and we kind of just, even I brought my sister into the game. We kind of just tag team the game, man, and we was hustling at AUM and Alabama State, man. So uh, at this time, man, we done rose up. We going back and forth to Texas. He's getting about 200 of them things at a time, and we coming back, and we just really just took over the streets.
Okay, so I want to fast forward to the point where uh, you did the armed robbery that led to you going to prison.
Yes.
Tell me what led to that. How did that play? I mean, what led to that?
Well, I was at that same. I'm in college in Montgomery now, and having a little trouble with my baby mom, with my daughter, having some issues. Well, she wouldn't let me, see my baby, and like I said, I didn't want to be a deadbeat dad, man. I grew up without a dad, so I'm trying to be involved in my kids' life. So I would come home on weekends, and you know what I'm saying, and her mom and my mom would kind of sneak my daughter away, you know what I'm saying, and bring her to me where I could see her. And so this particular weekend I was coming home, they was gonna have it where I could, you know what I'm saying, spend some time with my daughter. And so she was at my mom's house, and I get to my mom's house and watching my daughter, and I get one of my old homies from back in my robbery days. I'm done with the robbery, man. I'm strictly hustling. He pulled up at my house, man. He tell me, hey, bro, I need your help. I'm behind on all the bills. I'm about to lose everything. I got a nice lick, you know what I'm saying, that I encased out. I just need you to look out for him. I said, bro, I don't do that no more. You know what I'm saying? What I'm saying? I can loan you some money, you know what I'm saying? But he was like, bro, just watch this lick. Just watch me, man. I said, bro, I'm out of that, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm a straight hustler now, bro. I don't do the jackboy thing no more. And he ended up coming like 2 or 3 times. Finally, my mom was like, well, who was that? Keep pulling out. Like, well, that's my old homie. He just happy to see me in town. And what happens is, man, I give in. I'll tell him, I say, you know what, bro, man, I'll ride with you, man. I ride with you. I look out for you. But everywhere I go, I got my guns on me, my assault rifle, my Tech 9s. You know what I'm saying? So I naturally take my guns, and I'm supposed to be just a lookout. Well, on the route, we pick up one of my other homies, and we ended up going and robbing this place. And he was in there robbing, and I was like outside looking in, and there was some other people that was in there, and they was kind of, I seen they was coming to ambush him from behind while he was laying the place down. So I end up having to go in monster mode, man. I pull my mask down. I go up in there, man. I jump up on the counter with the assault rifle, man. And I just robbed the place, man. I tell them to open the safe up, gear everything up, man. We robbed the place, and I get kind of monstrous with it. I even pull the gun on my homie and tell him, no, look, don't leave no money, get it all. You know what I'm saying? We ain't leaving nothing. I got to come up in here. We gonna get everything. We ain't leaving nothing. And I think that spooked him. And he runs out the store, and shoot, man, I run out behind him, man. Me and my other co-defendant, man. We almost hit the truck, and he pulls off and leaves us on the scene in the middle of a robbery, in broad daylight.
Okay.
So, this is like a plaza. This is, man. Everybody see what's going on now. He's burning out. Everybody watching. What's going on? What's going on? So, man, I look up, man. Man, we in the country, man. And I'm in an unfamiliar place. I'm not from there. We done rolled out of town to do this lick, and it's not my lick. So now I'm on somebody else's lick. I'm a fish out of water. I don't even know how to get out of this place for real. And man, we in this country, man, deep south, man, and the guys that was out eating at the restaurants and stuff, man, you know how they used to have the rifles on the back of the truck, you know what I'm saying, sitting on the little racks and stuff, and they come out, they get in the trucks, they getting the guns out of the trucks. And I see the play, man, and so me and my partner just sitting in front of the store like, God, dog, we got to get out of here. You know what I'm saying? Because it's about to go down. Man, next thing you know, man, it's like the whole community started shooting at us, man. Everybody out in that area, man, and that's, the people out with the changing tires, the people at the restaurant, man, it's like everybody had guns. I mean, these jokers were trying to kill us, bro. They was laying down like sniper rifle style. Right. Man, they was laying down with this big scopes. So now, we got to flee for our life, so we kind of run behind the store. And on the way to run, I look back, man, my dog get shot. He shot up real bad. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, dang, I got one option. I said I can leave him there, or I can go back and save him, and we both can get away. And man, I go back and save my dog. I pick him up, man. I fire about 15 rounds, man. Scare the guys, everybody. They running behind vehicles, running behind cars. They trying to take cover, cause I'm firing back on them. And I get him, and man, we run up to a little neighborhood. I got his arm around my neck, and he can't hardly walk. Both his legs been shot up, man. He shot up pretty bad, bleeding pretty good. And I I kicked some boards out from up on the fence, threw them up under, and I jumped over the fence. And man, it got out of hand, man. I ended up having to kick somebody's doors in. It was a couple that was in there. They was actually in there, naked, about to have sex, man. I kicked the doors in on them and I robbed them, take the keys. So now I'm already in one robbery. Now I'm in a shootout. Now I'm kicking somebody's doors in. Now I'm taking the car at gunpoint.
Right.
And so, once I do that, man, I'm kind of lost. Like I said, we done ran into a neighborhood. We coming up out of, we trying to get our way up out of this neighborhood. And finally we get up, find our way out through the neighborhood. We get out, we trying to get ready to get up out of there. And as we trying to get ready to leave, the police is on the scene now. So, I'm driving slow, not to cause no attention. And cut my city lights on like a regular citizen. I got his seat laid back, telling the lady to seat back, man. We finna get up out of here. And man, I'm driving regular, not causing no panic. But the guy I just robbed, he just happens to run out. And I don't know how he got back to this location so fast, man. But I can see him as I'm turning the stop sign. I can see him like jumping up and down to the police, like he just robbed me. Like he's in the car.
Yeah.
And man, we go on a high speed chase, man. And like the guys that was just shooting at us, that was having a shootout with, I mean, man, they running side by side with the police, man, bro. We having a shootout going down the highway, running 130, 140 miles per hour.
Right.
So man, we on a high speed chase, man. These guys are actually passing the police, bro. Shooting, man. It's out of hand. It's out of control. So, I'm driving, trying to shoot back. You know what I'm saying? So I end up going through like 2 counties. So now we on a major 4-lane highway, and they tried to set up some roadblocks, and I eventually ran through a few roadblocks. And I remember the time. This is where it gets disastrous at.
What's your co-defendant that shot up? What is he?
Yeah,
saying?
he's saying, man, stop. You know what I'm saying? Let me out. You know what I'm saying, bro? Let me out. You can keep going. I'm like, nah, bro. We ain't no. You know what I'm saying? We on the danger, bro. We gonna get away. We gonna die. You know what I'm saying? It's over with, bro. We getting away. And he was like, nah, I ain't going out like that. And I said, bro, this how it's going down. And I remember, man, we going down the highway. I went through like 2 or 3 roadblocks. And I remember they had some undercover unmarked cars on the side of the road. But I knew them from the street because I was hustling. So I knew all the unmarked cars. I knew all the detective cars. I knew who was in them. I knew them all from a hustling. So once as I get ready to get up to the scene, man, they try to pit maneuver me from the side. And so, I hit the brake, boom, go off side of the road, boom, get away. So now we on a high speed chase on the 4-lane, man. We weaving in and out of traffic, man. Cars are swerving all over the highway. One of the unmarked pull up on the side of me, and I remember this is where everything take a turn. I pulled my Pt.1 up. He swerves wide to ram me off the road, and so I pulled the Pt.1 up. And so once I pulled the Pt.1 up to shoot him, I'm literally finna take him out. He hits the brakes. I guess he make the call in like this guy lay off of him. And so once I do that, my guy with me, man, my homie with me that shot, he like, this is too much, man. And he kind of like hit the gun some kind of way, and the gun falls in the back. So I'm reaching in the back trying to get the gun. So I'm trying to reach for my firearm, and I'm running 130 some miles an hour. And I remember, man, I hear the tires go out. Boom! I realized, I didn't know till later on that they had shot the tires out the car. And I remember the car turning sideways, and I could hear like a death knell, like doom. I could hear it real loud, man. I felt like death was coming. And man, the car went airborne. I think the police said they counted 12 times we flipped. And I remember we was flipping. And I remember I was bumping into him, and he was saying, God, we can't die like this. And I was like, bro, you know what I'm saying? Everything, to me, it's in slow motion. But it's happening in real time. And this car and every time the car flipped, I could see the glass crash, and I could see the metal bending in. I could see the tires flying off the car. I could see it in real time, but to me, it slowed down. Right. And I remember thinking, I can't die like this. And I remember my driver's side window had bust out. And I remember it was flipping in the air, and I remember I grabbed the window and I threw myself out of it in midair. But the car had so much velocity on it, so it flipped back over while I was in the air, and it caught me. It threw me high as a light pole. And I remember I come down, I had it was like a cement embankment on the side. And I hit the ground, man. I'm trying to catch myself, man. It's burning all the skin off my hand, burnt my clothes, the cement burned my clothes off. Man, I get messed up real bad, man. I broke everything, ribs, legs. Man, I was burned. Man, I was burned so bad, man. I had skin burnt everywhere off of me. My shoulders, man, I was messed up real bad. And I remember, man, I could see the car when it's coming to a standstill. And I remember, it was, a lot of people think I'm crazy, but man, I was literally floating outside of my body.
I've heard this story before.
Yeah, I'm telling you, I'm literally out. Literally, I'm like, I can see the whole scene. It's like I'm above I could see the whole scene, and I'm like, man, I'm like, like this is it,
Yeah.
but it's real, man. I got to go somewhere. And I remember it was vibrating real bad. My body was vibrating. I could feel it. I could feel like my soul was like vibrating, man. It was trying not to pull away from. I could feel it, and it was a real hard vibe, whole different freaks I never felt in my life. It was like I was going in a world and out of a world, and I could like hear it like this. I was like, good God, man, it's over with. And I remember, man, it seems like I just went back in my body, man, and I just woke up. And I remember the police, they was running out with the guns drawn, and I was like, if I can just get back to the car and get my gun,
Yeah.
I can go and kill them. You know what I'm saying? Get in the woods and get away. I don't know at the time how bad I'm messed up.
Right.
I'm running on pure adrenaline. I don't even know how I'm up. And man, I get up. I remember I try to take a step towards the vehicle to get in. The vehicle just caved in like a tin can, man. At the time, I'm thinking my homie dead, and I'm upset. I want to go and kill the police, man. I want to go and go out, get away or go out. You know what I'm saying? And I remember I took like 2 or 3 steps, and my everything just caved up under me. I looked down, and my legs was just destroyed. And I remember they come get me, man. They dive on me, man. They put me in handcuffs. Uh, they can't really move me. I'm messed up real bad. They called the ambulance. And I guess my partner, my co-defendant, he was laid down low in the seat, so they really never seen him in the car because the seat was laid all the way back the entire chase. He never sat up. And so they really forgot about him. And then I guess he woke up, and they can hear him screaming because that metal in his face. And they end up getting him out the car, man. I remember they was putting me in the car. I mean, the ambulance, they had me on the stretcher. And I remember the guy that left me. He was, he pulled up. He was like, everything all right. You know what I'm saying? So
So the guy that left out the robbery,
yeah, man.
he pulled up on the scene.
They get him. Yeah, they look at the description of the vehicle. I guess he feeling guilty that, you know what I'm saying?
He left y'all.
He left us. And I mean, he left us on the scene, man. And so I guess one of my homies that I hustle with, he rode by and seen it. He called my mom, so she gets to the hospital, and I remember I'm in and out. My ribs, her bone pick, man. I got internal bleeding, and I remember I get to the hospital, and I remember seeing my mom, and I remember passing out when I woke up. I can remember seeing my mom on the side of the bed, and she was like, at the time, she was really kind of sickly. You know what I'm saying? She was trying to recover and recuperate, but she made it to the hospital, and she just wanted to see if it was because she said she got multiple calls. I think it's your son. It looked like your son. I don't know, but she get to the hospital, bro. And man, I'm laid out in the bed. I'm messed up real bad. And she just said, son, why? You know what I'm saying? Like, this ain't you. I didn't, I didn't raise you. Like why? What you doing?
Right.
And it was all a humbug, man. It wasn't even my league. I wasn't even robbing no more. But everything I got away with, the whole past came full circle.
Yeah.
So everything came full circle at one time.
Yeah.
I thought I was getting away, but God had a different plan. So, yeah, man, you can't run from the streets because they come back at you in a different form. And I was lucky that I was able to, you know what I'm saying, to maintain life because I've seen people wreck with at less speed than that and lose their life. Yeah, so I'm in the hospital, I'm messed up real bad. They tell my mom this is not a real visit. You know what I'm saying? He's a criminal. You know what I'm saying? He can't have no visit. My mom, I don't want to hear that. You know what I'm saying? This is my son. So they kind of usher out the room, man. I got all kinds of investigators and DAs coming in, everybody trying to question me about what happened, trying to tie me into other robberies, and man, I'm in and out. The doctor like, look, he really ain't up for no questioning, man. This guy can't, this guy fighting for his life. And I remember I stayed in there a few weeks, man, and I ended up leaving the hospital, going straight to the county jail. And I'm in the county jail, man. I can't walk. I'm messed up. I'm just really bed bound. But they woke me so bad, they give me no sympathy. You know what I'm saying? So I'm really bed bound in the county jail, man. And thankfully, man, the guys in the county, man, they was like, man, we seen the whole thing, man. We heard about the whole case, bro. It was like, man, you messed up, man. It messed up that they got you in here like this. And finally, man, they give me like a $200,000 bond, man. I end up, my mom, everybody ended up putting up some profit. I ended up making my bond. And I remember, man, I get out, and it's just unreal, man. I remember I'm in a wheelchair. They rolling me around in a wheelchair, and I'm like, man. And right before I get out, the doctors was telling me they're doing the MRIs and scans, and they telling me, look, you might not be able to walk again. If you do, it's going to be with the assistance of a four-way walker or cane, or. But as far as you just having your health back, you might not ever walk again. And I remember I had so much rage in me. I remember I'm at home. I remember that I'm like, man, I can't have that diagnosis. Like I'm too young for this. You know what I'm saying? I ain't even 20 years old. You know what I'm saying? So I'm telling them like, look, I got so much rage. I'm telling myself when my mom then would leave, man, and I would have a partner that would come and pick me up. One of my homeboys would come pick me up, and he would drive me about an hour away, and I was going to rehab like 4 days a week. And so I'm going to Southern Bone and Joint trying to rehab, man. It's like no progress, man. And I'm going up for some months, man, going to rehab. But now, while I'm going through all this, I'm still hustling. So, you know what I'm saying? I'm selling weight. So I ain't got to be in the streets on the corner. So when once my partner dropped the load off, um, I just, I let everybody know to work here, and I'm still grinding. So I'm grinding from the wheelchair, but I want to walk again because I got rage in me. I really want to kill my homie that left me. And every day when I would be at home by myself or in between rehab, man, I would try to get out that wheelchair. And I'm in the hallway where I can grasp both walls, man. I'm falling all down in the hallway. I'm crying. I want to walk, man. Snotting. I just really want. I just want to be able to walk so I can get me some revenge. Like, I ain't going out like this. And man, eventually, man, through lots of rehab and trying to learn how to walk, man, I ended up learning how to walk again. So, throughout of this, my court date drawing near, and they telling me they're not gonna offer me no deal. But they want to offer the guy that left me a deal for 5 years for, giving his side of the story. And I was like, man, this is crazy, man. So, I try to let them know, like, look, this time y'all trying to give me, I can't take it. And I'm like, man, y'all give me a better deal. They said, there's no deal for you.
How much time were you trying to give you?
99 years on each Class A robbery, each Class A offense, plus 25-year gun enhancement on each charge. And they wasn't trying to run them together. They was going to run them CS, which is consecutive, not CC, which is concurrent. Concurrent means they run together one sentence. I can make parole on one sentence and come home. But consecutive means I got to parole one sentence, start on another. So they went off for no deal. They said, well, you a mastermind. We looked at your whole history. You a mastermind. You intelligent, you smart. You gonna get punished more. So once again, it come full circle again. I thought I was getting away. All the masterminding I was doing is coming to haunt me. So being too smart sometimes, or being too street smart and intelligent at the same time, it can double haunt you. Right. And so now I'm facing, you know what I'm saying, basically life sentence, man, never coming back home. And I'm telling my mom, like, look, if they don't give me no deal, all my money I'm stacking. I'm about to go on a run. And I remember, man, I had all my stuff, my files together, ready to go on the run. And I remember I went to court. And I remember on the docket, there was a lot of people on the docket. And a lot of guys that had Class A robberies and stuff, man. And I remember sitting in court with these guys. And I remember after the trial was over, I remember these guys, they was getting 99 years plus the 25. They was giving it to them. Mm-hmm. I didn't realize this ain't the city where I'm from. The city where I'm from don't give up that kind of time. Right. I'm in another city. I'm an outsider. They're punishing us, and they giving it to us. Right. And this judge, like, he was trying to give out 100,000 years or something. Man. I think he had a mission. Mm-hmm. And I remember, man, they was giving this time. I said, man, they don't get to me on this docket, I ain't coming back. And I remember, man, seeing these guys get all these years, man, get hundreds and hundreds of years. And I remember I left out the courtroom that day, and they reset my trial off for April. And I remember saying, it's over with. I'm going on a run. I had all my money stacked up. And I went home. I told my mom I love her. I said, but, I got to go. And I went on a run. And, I had, IDs and different kind of stuff I need, to get on the run. And I went to Biloxi, Mississippi. And I went there from where I had no family. All my family was in Florida. I had family different. So they looking for me everywhere. You know what I'm saying? They got the phones tapped. They casing out the yards. All my people, they follow my kids, mom. They looking for me everywhere. But I'm right up under their nose in Beachfront Boulevard in Biloxi, Mississippi. I'm gambling at the casino for a living. You know what I'm saying? I'm living the best life. So I rented me a condo out, and I'm living my best life on the run. But one of my best friends, my brother, he had just got out of prison for robbery. He had did 6 years, and at the time he was 20 years old. This time 21. At the time I go on the run, and he ended up going on the run with me. So he's still on papers from Georgia, right. And he loved me so bad, bro. We went on the run together, man. And he went to prison so young. So being in Mississippi, going to prison at such a young age, it's something he never seen. Right. So I'm introducing him to a whole life of casinos and gambling and, you know what I'm saying, everything. so we on the run, man. We living the best life. And they trying to call me and tell me they offer. They tell my mom that when they find me, they gonna kill me. The bounty hunters looking for me. Everybody saying they gonna kill me when they find me. And I guess just where I'm from, they got stumped because they never had been beat like that. And they couldn't find me. I want to turn up in no roadblock. They couldn't find me. So enough time go by. They said, hey, look, if he turn himself in, we'll give him a deal. And I had my mama three-way my lawyer. When I call home, she three-way the lawyer, and the lawyer said it's real. You know what I'm saying? They're going to give you the deal. And he was like, man, you can be home in 5 years. And I said, man, bet. That's a deal. He said, but look, you can't turn yourself in. He said, they want to kill you. Make sure when you get here, you call me. I'm going to take you to the county jail. And I remember I come in to turn myself in. I was like, man, ain't no sense in running for the rest of my life. I turn myself in. I'm thinking I'm going to get to 25 years, be out in 5. And I called my lawyer. He bring me in. I remember the sheriff telling me he had water at the back in his mouth. He said, you better be glad you came in the way you did, because I had aim to blow your brains out, boy. And he said, but you ain't going to be in my county long. And I ended up going in court, man, and instead of getting to 25 years, I kind of got railroaded. I got 27 years on each case, and it was running wild. So I got 27 years instead of 25. Now I'm at the mercy of the parole board.
Right.
So I get my sentence. So basically I'm looking at 54 years, and they send me out from the county that day. I get my sentence that Friday. That Monday I was out on the train to prison.